Evaluation question 6. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? I'm going to split this up into 2 categories, A, equipment and hardware, and B, technology and software. So firstly, equipment. The first piece of equipment that we learned how to use and did use was a camera. Make sure that it is autofocus first, because otherwise the footage is really fuzzy. Secondly, we used a tripod. This made sure that when we were using the camera, it was stationary and that it wouldn't wobble. So it's really important that you use this when filming. We also used lights, as the natural light of the house, which was used for our location, was too dark and the shadows weren't quite right in the footage. So we used the lights. In hindsight, I would have brought a trolley or something with wheels to carry the lights, as they are extremely heavy, and this would have made portability for us much easier. It also would have been easier for us to access them when reshooting. However, they are very easy to set up. Like a tripod, you undo the nozzles and adjust it to the right height. From there, you then add the light. However, they do get extremely hot, and we waited as a safety precaution 10 minutes before packing away and handling them. Evidently, you need a device to be able to put all your footage onto and edit. We use Macs. I'd never used a Mac independently, only in group work, and I was actually very surprised at how easy they were to use. The layout is very, very simple, and it made it very easy when editing work. Okay, so secondly, I'm going to talk about software and technology. Firstly, this being Blogger. I'd never used this before doing the process of constructing this product, this being my own in sequence, and it's actually really, really easy to use. I also find it very modern. It's really cool. You can customize the blog to your preferences and your likes and the layout in which you want it. What I found effective when blogging was being able to embed audio, links, pictures and YouTube clips. This visually looks stunning, and it was helpful to me when going over past posts. Before using Blogger, I had never been able to embed YouTube videos. This is really simple and anyone can do it. You copy the embedded part of a YouTube clip, you then put this into your blog, and then bish bash bosh, you have a YouTube video on your blog, which it can be analysed, or you can analyse after, written in a post. I found this really helpful. Although I would advise people when making a blogger to make test posts to make sure that your personalisation, so the font or the colour of your text, is readable, because for some it isn't, and this can actually be quite distracting and quite difficult to read. I also learned how to edit films using Adobe Premiere Pro. At first it does look complex to use, which is a downside to the program, but once understanding each tab, it is easy to edit. Our group used fades and dissolves in our film for the credits and for the overlapping of scenes. We used zooms, and when first filming this they were too fast, so on Premiere Pro we were able to slow down the duration and also reverse the zoom so that in and out of our memories it was equal. This was important for our piece. I would suggest after 10 seconds worth of footage you should definitely render the work, otherwise this can take a long amount of time and the footage goes a bit crazy. Also, scale the clip to frame size, otherwise it can be zoomed in or too little when viewing. The colour duration was also important visually for the juxtaposition in our plot. So once doing this, we imported our finished film into a program called GarageBand. I had used this program before myself when recording vocals, but not to the extent in which we used it as a group. We matched the pre-made audio clips from GarageBand to our piece, so it matched the action. I also used a USB piano and added odd notes here and there, and also added the sequence of bird sounds to the final clip. On reflection, if I had been trained to use the program and asked for more help from the teachers, the process would have been much quicker and a lot less stressful. Finally, I learnt how to annotate films and footage using YouTube, which was revelation as I use YouTube every day but never knew how to actually annotate each clip. This made it far easier visually for myself and other viewers at what exact moment inferred and why I did this. Really, really easy to use. Again, this could be embedded into Blogger, onto a post. Obviously, this does become global. So in terms of copyright, it's important making sure that if it's not your clip in which you're analysing, that it's stated that it's not yours. Otherwise, you can be in a lot of trouble. On reflection, I wish I'd used this knowledge more when looking at past examples of my genre or looking at audience research. I felt that this would have benefited me more when knowing the conventions of what I needed to do in my piece. And that brings me to my conclusion. Thank you for watching and listening.